Planning a wedding, but you have no idea where to start with your timeline? Hey, I'm Travis Monroe of Monroe Film and Photo, and I'm going to discuss today what a typical timeline looks for a wedding day. So there's obviously a lot of different variables that you're going to be working with, so I'm going to be talking in very generic terms and just general guidelines as far as what I see for a typical wedding day. So to kick things off, we're going to talk about getting started, getting ready in the morning. It can vary quite a bit as far as when you actually get started. I've heard couples getting ready as soon as 6 a.m. and others, they don't start till like 10, 11 o'clock. Now, obviously, we're probably talking more about the girls getting ready since hair, makeup, things like that take a little bit longer versus the guys. Most of the time, the guys just show up, they put on a tie, 15 minutes, boom, they're ready to go. So a lot of this has to deal with how big is your wedding party and how much time that you need for getting ready. This is something that's great to consult with your hair and makeup team, see what their experience is, how quickly they can turn things around, and also what you're looking to do for hair and makeup. Hair and makeup tends to be when things fall behind the most. Roughly 1 o'clock is what we target to have everything ready to go, and then you're on to your first looks. With first looks, tends to take, just a couple of minutes, but it depends if you also want to do first looks with parents, grandparents, siblings, bridal party, depending on how many you want to do. So you try to target at least 30 minutes for first looks or so. Then once you do a first look with your significant other, then it's time for that photo session where we're going to get all those awesome shots of you guys just seeing each other and then rolling into a few portraits with the two of you. And then we're going to bring in the bridal party. So from 1:30 to 3 o'clock, that's when we're doing not only your photos and bridal party like I mentioned, but we're probably going to try knocking out as many family photos as we can as well. Say your ceremony is starting at 4, well by about 3 o'clock, we want to be wrapped up with everything and so that you guys can get a break and then be ready for that ceremony start time of 4 o'clock. And then we can get set up for your ceremony and be prepared for that. So from about 4 to 5, just plan on that ceremony time no matter what's happening. Typically ceremonies are about 30 minutes long, or at least you plan for that. Certainly in this day and age, ceremonies are getting shorter and shorter, but if you do have 30 minutes or maybe an hour, depending if you got like a church ceremony going on, you can bank for about that time frame. Then from 5 to 6 is your cocktail hour. Maybe your guests are going out and mingling, grabbing those drinks, maybe you're mingling with them. That's also a prime time to kind of get some of those last second photo shots with family members that maybe weren't showing up until your ceremony. Or if you got everything done in advance, it's time for you to go party as well, and you can go enjoy that cocktail hour. After the cocktail hour, 6 o'clock is the typical start time as far as dinner is concerned. So everyone takes their seats. You guys come in with that grand march with your bridal party if you choose to do so, and then you take a seat, you start with your dinner. Once dinner is underway, really the only major thing that's going to happen in between that time frame is going to be your speeches. But you can plan on probably starting speeches at about like 6:45 to 7 o'clock. We typically say once the head table is done eating, it's okay to kind of get going because you might have a few tables that are still getting food. It keeps the momentum going so you can get to your first dance. Plan on at least a half hour, but it depends on, who gets the microphone. We've certainly had dads that decided to chat for an hour. Maybe the best man had one too many drinks and wants to share one too many stories. Different things like that could happen that, it's just kind of out of your control. So at least plan for a half hour for speeches with that. Once speeches is wrapped up, another thing to keep in mind is if you're looking to have some sunset photo and videos taken care of, we're going to want to get out then right after those speeches and knock those shots out. Now that's something that, it's only about 15 minutes that we really take, but it's definitely something you want to make sure you have banked in, because maybe if you think things are moving a little bit later in your dinner, we take you out then as soon as you guys have your plates taken care of and everyone else is still eating. The biggest thing that we try to do as far as sunset photo and video is that we don't want to make it so that everyone's waiting on you guys to get those done before the next thing moves on. So we try to knock it out while people are still busy interacting with different things as well. So you're looking at about like 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock at the latest that you're going to get started on those first dances. Once the first dances get started, typically, 3-4 dances. You have the first couple dance, then maybe groom with mom, bride with dad, and then an anniversary dance. Sometimes there's a wedding party dance, different dances that maybe get added on. But then you're looking at about 8:30 or so before everyone gets out on the dance floor and start having a good time. And then it's just dancing the rest of the night and having a good time. So there you have it. That's a breakdown of a typical wedding day. So if you have any questions in regards to a wedding timeline or any other thoughts that you want to ask, please put it in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in.